But before you get into like putting all of this and kind of like just risking it all and then thinking of like, okay, I'm just gonna have like my own business.
Yeah.
Like how and when was it like the moment that you just tapped into it? Like, okay,
Like, this is the time.
yeah.
Well, it actually is. The human design plays a part in that as well.
Yeah.
So it was about 2021.
Uh-huh.
I had this, if you want to call it spiritual awakening, I had this awakening to myself.
Okay.
And it became very apparent that it was, what would you call it, square peg, round hole, round peg, square hole, whatever it is. Like, it just wasn't fitting. It wasn't fitting. And I already knew this, but, you know, my short-term goal was to go traveling. So I can stay in this company, I can earn some money, I can leave, I can quit, and I can figure it out.
Yeah.
But as I started to kind of go through the healing journey and kind of like let my identity shatter and build it back up again, it was just becoming so hard to be in that position, because actually on paper, the job that I was in was good.
Yeah.
And my employers were helping me make it fit. They were letting me tap into like the well-being side. And, and it was building community. It was really, really great, but it just wasn't right. And so I took a break over Christmas, as most people do in the UK. I took a break over Christmas and I came back to my desk in January, and I just felt this shift in my energy. And I was like, you just can't ignore that. I was like, you just can't ignore the difference in my energy. I went from just like light and myself to this really dense frustration. I was just so frustrated. So during that healing experience as well, I'd been listening to like spiritual podcasts. I've always been a spiritual person, but I've never had the mental or emotional space to kind of connect with it fully. And that year gave me the opportunity, and I've been able to reclaim that part of myself.
Yeah.
And so I was listening to podcasts. I was listening to a lot of podcasts, and human design was being mentioned. And you know, when you just get those little bells in your head and you're like, what is this? I don't know anything about it, but I need to find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I pulled up my chart and I was like, I don't understand that, because it's so you've seen the charts.
Yeah.
They're complicated.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to find a reader. This was all very intuitive. It felt like it was just happening to me.
Yeah.
And then I found a reader, and she felt like, I think you can really get a sense of someone on Instagram. You can pick up people's energy on Instagram, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And she felt like the right one for me. Booked a reading, incredible. And my main takeaway was I learned how to listen to my own intuition.
That's beautiful.
Because I don't know, like, I'm an anxious person. I have a kind of like overthinking mind, which I've worked a lot on over the years. But when you think so much, and then you also have like your primal instincts as a being, and then you have intuition, it's hard to distinguish between all of those. Like, is this just my mind overthinking, or is this true? Is it a gut feeling? I don't know. So my key takeaway from that human design reading was how to listen to my intuition.
True.
So this is all the context of the big moment. So I was in work just not long after I got back from Christmas and thought this.
Yeah.
And I had this incident with my manager, and I don't need to go into the details. All I need to say is that I was like, that's it. No more. I quit. I quit. Like, that's it. That's the final straw. And I tried to be rational about it, and I was like, okay. I was so sure.
Yeah.
I was so sure. And I was like, okay, what I'm going to do, I've got some savings.
Even the thought of it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like so empowered by trusting that that was the right thing to do. Which is just incredible. An incredible feeling, especially as a woman where we're so connected to our intuition. Being able to trust it is such an experience. And so when I made that decision, now I spoke to my boyfriend and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Don't have any backup plan apart from some savings to support me for maybe like, I don't know, like 3 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm happy to work in a coffee shop. I had just come from COVID lockdown. I'd be in the same 4 walls all day, every day. I was fed up, and I was like, while I figure things out, let's work in a coffee shop. And I don't even, like, I wanted to help people.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the general public was like at this point, because we'd been locked away for so many, for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to interact with people, like people that I don't know. It was just so many reasons why getting a really casual job was a good idea.
Yeah.
So in that moment I was like, I'm going to leave. I'll just get a coffee shop job. It's fine. I've got experience. I used to do this in uni.
Yeah.
And I saw a job opening. I was like, this weekend I'm going to the cafe and I'm speaking to the manager to see if there's a job.
God, okay.
And I did. And I was like, I'm leaving. And then I spoke to the manager and she was like, the job's filled, but I'll take your name for casual work. I was like, okay. I didn't have a job secured, but I still went in on that Monday and handed in my notice because I was so sure things would work out.
Yeah.
And so that was the moment. I did, in the end, get a casual job. But alongside that, I was firstly figuring out what I want to do. I was copywriting, building up a client base because I'd worked employed for so long.
Yeah.
And also having the space to kind of like rest after a really intense few years of healing and all that kind of stuff. So that's the story. That's how it happened.
Yeah, that's lovely. And the way that you kind of like tapped into like, okay, I just gotta quit. I just gotta focus on this. So I guess you had only plan A, which is like, I gotta just survive.
Yeah, some people would say that is the entrepreneurial spirit.
Exactly. I mean, believe it or not, all the guests that I'm like interviewing, they are like all similar with like having only one plan, which is plan A. They'd be like, well, I had no plans, only that one. So I only had to make it work.
That's another form of manifestation. It's a risky one, but it's a risk to try.
But with risk comes a lot of, a lot of moments where we have like breakdowns, where we have to, deal with ourselves. And actually,
it's true, yeah.
Traveling is one of the things that actually makes you learn about yourself.
This podcast is brought to you by Podcast Inc., the best support partner for your podcasting journey. Ready to elevate your podcasting game? Contact us today and let's make your podcasting dreams a reality.